In this video we will talk about string formatting, and in Python we have a thing called fstring. Let's see how we would write a variable inside a string. So as was pointed out, we can concatenate different strings, and for example there is a greeting for a certain name. So we'll just can write some greeting, then we can kind of concat name, and then we can also concatenate some additional string, for example some different marks or whatever. So basically what we can do, we can concatenate different strings together. This is okay and this works, but it's not easy to read, especially if you have multiple variables. Starting from Python 3.6 we can use fstring, and fstring is pointed out in the slide. So basically what we can do, we can have this way it's shorter, and also it's more readable, or it's easier to read. And let's see how the fstring works. So fstring is basically f symbol in front of the quotes. So, and it doesn't matter whether those are double quotes or single quotes, you just have to put f in front of the string itself. It also works for triple quotes for longer texts. And everything inside the string is a string. It is a regular string, but we can add expressions inside the string, and for that we can use curly braces. So for example, if we have a string which kind of adds two values, we can put those inside the curly braces, and as you can see, the result is calculated. So instead of these curly braces and 1 plus 3, we just get 4. We can also use variables inside the curly braces. And what happens here is that the name inside the curly braces is replaced with the value of this variable. Of course, we can combine variables and numbers and so on. So basically every expression we can use in regular Python, we can use inside the braces. And in one string we can have multiple expressions. For example, we can replace the name, we can replace the h plus 1, and so on. So basically every curly braces inside the fstring is replaced with the value of this expression. Let's see how we can have numbers inside the string. For example, in a regular way, what we could do is that I would like to print out the age in this example. I have to convert the number into string, and then I can concatenate this as a regular string. This is also inconvenient, and fstring does this conversion automatically. So basically I can just write your age is, and in curly braces it doesn't matter whether it's a string or it's a number, it is automatically converted into string. This is anyway more convenient than converting it manually every time. We can use fstring to format text. And to use that we can apply colon to indicate the formatting. For example, this is quite normal or popular use case. We want to pad the number with zeros, and in this example let's pad the number up to 4 places, and we can use fstring as pointed out here. So basically what happens is if the value of nr is 12, we will get a string like that. So we don't have to deal with for example if conditions to see how many zeros we have to put before the string. It's quite easy and then short way to write down. What happens here is that the nr is the variable. In this case the value of nr is 12. 0 after the colon indicates that we are prepending zeros, and the 4 is the length of the result. So If we would like to have a longer string, then we can put some higher value there. For example, the use case would be to kind of write out, for example, time. So, and in certain cases, it's better to use two-digit time in all the cases. So, for example, if it's 1 o'clock, then it's in some cases it would be easier or more convenient to have 0, 1, and if it's 10, it would still remain 10. So in every case, we will get two-digit number. And to do that, we can use f-string, as pointed out in the slide. We can use f-string to align text, and to do that, we can use different symbols. For example, to align right, to align in center, and to align left. We can use those symbols. And after the alignment symbol, we can indicate the length of the space. So to align between this space, or this space is used to align whether to left or to right or into middle. And here is an example. So the pipes, or the pipes are just here to show that where one alignment starts and when another ends. So basically you can see it as a table, for example, and those are the lines between the different sections. And here all the different alignments are used. For example, aligning right, aligning center, and aligning left. And every space between those lines, or the table cells, basically are 10. And what happens is shown here. So the name in this example is Ago. It's aligned to the right. As you can see, it's right next to the pipe there. Then the students, just basically the number of students this Ago has. And this is aligned in the middle, and the title of the Ago is aligned to the left. And this is a nice way to do it, because doing it without this f-string is a bit harder. Then you have to calculate how many spaces you have to add before and after, and so on. Now we were using variables in the previous example, but you can use also string values inside f-string. To do that, we have to be aware that inside double quotes we can use strings with single quotes and vice versa. Then what we can do for alignment, by default the spacing value is space, so everything which is left over from the value itself is filled in with spaces. But we can use some custom symbol there. For example, if we would like to use dots to fill out the space, then we can use this value, but this value is also put into the curly braces. This, how to say, it's not the easiest or most maybe convenient way to write it out, but this is how it works. So you have to put the dot here. As you can see, the string what we would like to align is Ago. This is pointed out with single quotes. Now the colon comes. This indicates that we are starting formatting. And after the colon, the dot, which is used for filling up the spaces, is also inside the curly braces. And then the alignment symbol comes, and then the length of the space is written. So basically you can have something like that to fill in the spaces with dots. And instead of Ago you can use variable here, but and also instead of dot you can use variable there. F-string conclusions. So f-string can be used to format strings. It does make things a lot easier compared to doing without f-strings. Even in simpler situations, it's it would be recommended you use f-string. Even the first example, if I just were doing some greeting, I can concatenate two strings, but actually it's recommended to use f-string even in those situations. Of course, if the string doesn't contain any expressions, then there is no point to add this f there. F-string is easier to read and gives powerful options to format the string. As we were pointing out, you can align, you can pad different symbols before numbers and so on. So in our course, it's recommended that you use f-string everywhere you kind of have to do some operations or use variables or some other formatting inside the string. So let's use f-string here and then make the code easier to read.